Cool. So we're going to kick off the first presentation and talk a little bit about SocialFi. And so here's our agenda. We're going to introduce ourselves a little bit. Then we're going to talk a little bit on some context around what we think SocialFi means. I'm going to talk a little bit about the early stages starting Stack, if that's interesting to you guys. Then we'll talk a little bit about the results so far, some learnings, and then give a product demo. So first off, myself, my name is Graeme. I'm the CEO and founder of Stack.so. Before Stack, I was the CTO of Mirror.xyz, publishing platform, and a little bit of a SocialFi product as well. And then before that, I was director of engineering at Dharma, which was a smart contract-based wallet that allowed people to on-ramp onto DeFi. And then Bradley.
Hi, everyone. I'm Bradley Freeman. I'm the partnerships lead at Stack. And quick a little bit about myself. I was in the Lens protocol team for the last 2 years. Prior to that, I created and led TikTok's NFT drop in 2021. First and perhaps last thing ByteDance will put on a blockchain anytime soon. And prior to that, I was a management consultant at Accenture, and I was on the team that designed the Dunkin' Donuts loyalty program. So if any of you use that, we got you some points.
Awesome. Okay, SocialFi. So what is it? So every feature on the web basically started out as some kind of technological innovation. And the social web, Web 2, it's the foundation of the social part, came from an innovation called Ajax. Does anyone here actually know anything about Ajax or what it means? Okay, young crowd. Okay, so Ajax was this massive innovation that happened that allowed people to interact with web pages without submitting a form. So if you wanted to upload a photo, you used to have to submit a form, or if you wanted to publish a blog post, you would submit a form. And Ajax allowed you to interact with the web page asynchronously. So basically, do something without refreshing the page, and that made everything more interactive. And that led to these new primitives being formed, these new gestures for the web. And those gestures were things like likes and upvotes, which were the foundations for apps like Reddit and Facebook and Twitter. You could also upload media, so imagine Facebook without the photos. It'd be pretty boring, but it allowed you to upload rich media. And then it also allowed for web-based chat DMs, things like that. So all of the social features, basically the whole social web landscape was enabled through this technological innovation, which now permeates the web. And that was asynchronous JavaScript. In a similar way, SocialFi is enabled by crypto wallets. So that's the innovation from blockchains, which will enable these new primitives like content ownership. And we like to say things like collect is the new like. And it also allows for global identity and reputation. So you can have one wallet across multiple apps, and then that wallet can have a reputation and a relationship with brands and with applications. It's not a walled garden. And then there are also instant financial settlement and primitives like bonding curves, which I'm sure others will talk about later. And that will create a powerful new wave of apps, just like Web 2 did. So in short, SocialFi is really where media, reputation, and ownership converge. And now I'll talk a little bit about Stack. So started Stack. I was previously working on Mirror.xyz, which was largely around reputation and social through blogging and then crowdfunding and things like that. At Mirror, for a short period, I did actually build a point system, and that would have allowed the community to understand who the top contributors were and have reputation for users. And then the community could do something like create tokens and airdrop them to those users, and other things that they might care to do as a community based on like who they view as like the top contributors are. So that was really interesting. It got me thinking about the power of reputation and on-chain reputation. Once I left Mirror, I was thinking about these ideas, and I wanted to build something around on-chain reputation. So I raised the seed from Archetype. Thank you very much. And I didn't want to go directly into building a protocol, so I just consulted and spoke extensively with a bunch of brands. So I spoke with Tiffany & Co., did a contract with Bape and with 90cc, which is a Web3 native fashion brand. I realized that point systems are really valuable generally, and so I wanted to commit to that specifically as a starting point for the product. I presented the concept of on-chain point systems at Coinbase Venture Summit in October 2023, and we launched an MVP in March this year, a few months ago. Okay.
All right, thanks so much. And now we will go over what is Stack, how do you use it, and who is using it? And we have a little surprise at the end for some folks. So the place to begin, basically what Stack is ability for anyone, any budget, any size or stage of maturity to create and operate and enrich a points program and or loyalty program, depending on if you want to think of it that way. I personally like to. We should talk about why loyalty programs matter a little bit, and I'll speak to the Dunkin' Donuts experience especially. Dunkin' Donuts looks at their loyalty program as their relationship management software with every Dunkin' Donuts shopper, current, future, and as a means to identify, measure, and then deepen the relationship with the customer. This idea is pretty common. Everyone in here, I assume, has a credit card of some kind. You earn points, and you use them to redeem for flights or hotels or things that you like. These are great. This is great relationship management software, and they're not new. But for a lot of teams, companies, organizations, they are unable to have one. And this is really for a couple of reasons. Number one, it can be pretty expensive to set up. It can be upwards of $500,000 to build in-house. So that's prohibitive. Even if you can make the program, to make the program profitable, meaning you're not going to lose all your money because you're giving away free stuff in the form of free flights or free coffees, and funding of the programs yourself can be very challenging. And finally, this is how American Express and Chase work if you use those credit cards, partnerships are really important. So if you think of Amex as Amex owns the end relationship with the customer, brands, airlines, Amazon, whoever, they pay for the right to reach those customers. And the means by which they reach them are through the loyalty program and the exchange of points. The integration that allows you to redeem your Amex points for a flight somewhere is actually quite technically challenging. It takes a very long time to do. It's very expensive. And if it breaks, you have a lot of unhappy people. So blockchains happen to be a really good solution for this because you store all the points in one place. We have a layer 3 chain we'll tell you a little bit more about. It makes it really fast and cheap. And so blockchains have to be a really elegant and modern solution to a not very modern product. And that's really what Stack is about. We solve this by making it possible for anyone to create a points program quickly, cheaply, and again, focus on the partnerships really easily. And so what does that actually look like? There's 4 parts to this. We'll keep it simple, and then we'll just show you. So first and foremost, you want to issue points for something. So we have a philosophy like BYOD, bring your own data, and then plug Stack in and issue points against it. So whether you are a creator who doesn't know how to, or a community leader who doesn't know how to code or have access to a developer, we have some of these native integrations, can upload a CSV, we have the SDK, API, or you can build directly on the chain. And we have teams doing a mix of these. So I'd say the bigger or lower on the stack you go, the more to the right you sort of go. And if you're a user or creator, you might start on the left side. So you start issuing points. You've got data for all the events that matter to you that proving what you want your users to do. You get a private dashboard with analytics. We're constantly updating and refining this based on feedback we get from folks. And then you get the most popular feature request, a leaderboard created for you that's pretty clean and simple and that you can embed or ingest. And then finally, the fun part is distributing rewards and redemptions. Redemptions meaning you spend points to get the reward, or more of a coupon where you can just claim the reward because you qualify. And we have a few different ways to do this. We have direct token airdrops, claim frames on Farcaster, which have proven very popular and fun, and then redemptions, including for off-chain, aka real-life goods that people want. So that's how the product works. Who's using this? Quite a few folks. We launched 3 months ago on March 11th when the chain launched. And since then, we've had a real mix of creators, applications, communities, and some more infrastructure or lower on the stack teams. But applications in particular have really enjoyed using the SDK and are using, partnering quite a lot actually with some of the meme coin communities. You can see sort of on the bottom there, like Hire and Degen and some of the base meme coins. It's been a very nice marriage between token meme coin providers or creators who have a supply of tokens and a demand for people to hold them, and applications who have users and a demand for a supply of users and a demand for some way to reward them. So we've seen a very interesting collab between some of the meme coin communities on Base and the apps, and especially some of the creators as well. And sorry, I should definitely call it. We just crossed recently, as in the last week, over 1 million unique wallets that hold points from Stack on them, and over $100,000 in rewards that have been distributed. So we're really excited, and we are still very much in discovery mode of figuring out, like, a lot of folks types of teams can use Stack, but so we're, I guess, all that to say, we're figuring out still, like, it seems like a lot of different ways to use the tool. Even though it's a simple product, there's a lot of things used very flexibly. Cool. Okay, so with that, we want to show you now a little bit of some of these leaderboards and some example programs. So if you go to stack.so/explore, you can go check out some of the programs that are live right now, and then you can just click into one. For example, we just helped Rarible reward users for creating listings and bids in dgen. And a specific shout out to the Hire team, because they built this really nice looking site for their program. It's really clean. And basically their program's quite interesting. They're using Stack to fetch the data and embed it in their own site. And the way points are earned right now is only 2 ways. You get points for holding the token, and you get points for supplying the token. And that is a function of how much and for how long. And so this is we're excited to see them continue. We imagine that a lot of other tokens might want to also incentivize people to hold the token and not sell it right away. And life after airdrops is going to continue to be a hot area. So shout out Hire. We want to show you as well, what is it like to use Stack? So here we have, surprise, Katie's biggest fans. Katie, as you may know, is a prolific writer and has posted a ton of Mirror articles. So we have now aggregated her collectors from her Mirror collectors and Farcaster followers to now tell Katie for the first time who her biggest fans are. So you get 10 points per article you've minted, and you get 5 points for following. So Dillstack.eth is her #1 biggest fan who has collected at least 2 and followed her. You can go from the leaderboard and check out who these folks are, learn more about them. And yeah, this is Katie's leaderboard. And to set that up, you go to Stack, create a points program, we'd go to the integrations, we'd want to find her collectible holders, and all we do is just select our chain, paste in the contract address, and the points. You can see we have a few of our contracts right there. And then for Farcaster follows, you just take your Farcaster ID, drop it in. We have a few other integrations you should go check out yourself and make a points program for you or someone that you know. And yeah, that is the basics of how to use Stack. And I guess the last thing I'll show you is the leaderboard and how to set that up. You can customize the URL, and the label, the appearance, all that. But yeah, that's the basics of how to use Stack and what we're doing. So anything else? Did I miss anything? All right.